Hello chess fans! Today I'm going to show you another game I played from the Canadian Open. So this one is against Abhijeet Gupta, who was ranked I think 118 in the world when I played him. And these ratings you see on the side here, this is my CFC and that's his FIDE. So my FIDE is actually just 1900. So this would be a huge upset if I managed to get any sort of result. So I play this move e4, and I always play this c5, knight c3, knight c6, bishop e5, and this is sort of a trendy way to play nowadays. And also what I played in the last game. So here, black has a plethora of moves. They can either go e6, g6, a6, knight f6. They can just really do whatever here. Even rook b8 is apparently a move. So here we went knight d4, and the idea is he doesn't want to get his pawns doubled and also is threatening to win the bishop pair. And after knight f3, he can win the bishop pair. That's also definitely playable. But he decides to go for this move e6, I castle, a6, and after bishop d3, here we get to our caveated position where we know, if you've seen my last video, that the main moves here have to address the fact that the knight is going to take on d4 here, giving them a ruined structure. So either you take here and get rid of the fact that he can ruin the structure, and then white's up a little bit on development, or you can go knight e7 so that after takes, we can defend it with knight c6, or you can go for knight c6, just completely avoid it, but this loses a few tempos, but then you can claim the bishop's not very good here. And if you're wondering why the bishop retreats to d3, blocking the d-pawn, it's because if the bishop retreats to c4, you can get hit by b5, and this is not very good for white. So after bishop d3, my pawn plays b5. Which, okay, already at this point I'm out of theory and I'm just thinking in my head about those knight d4 concepts. Usually, if black doesn't address the knight, we take on d4. So after maybe 2 minutes of thought, I take on d4, and after c takes, I play knight e2. And already here my opponent makes maybe the first questionable move of the game. Already b5 is a little bit dubious, but obviously they want to get me out of theory. They play bishop c5 without thinking at all. And here I have a really nice move, so pause to see if you can find it. It's a move that's completely unobvious, and you don't really see a lot of ideas like this in chess. But the move b4, it's very strong here, and after takes here, the idea is, even though we've traded the double pawn for our flank pawn, the bishop on b2 is going to be very powerful, and once we get the 2 pawns in the center, it's going to be nearly a winning position. For example, already if they play a move like knight f6 after a4, they already have huge weaknesses here. And we've already kickstarted a minority attack. So this would be much better, but okay, I didn't know of this b4 idea, and obviously now if I get this I'm going to play b4, but I play this move c3, which is much more natural. The idea is I want to bring a pawn to the center, or I want to open the d file, and they just have some sort of dark squared holes in their position. It's not very pleasant. So here they took, which is probably the only move. They can also play this move here, but then I would have knight takes d4 and I would go up a pawn. So they took, and here you have to make a big decision. You can either take here or go here. And both moves are sort of good, but one of them is slightly better than the other one, and I think it's a very hard decision to make. So I ended up taking with the b pawn, which is the wrong one. But if I took with the d pawn, after bishop b7, I can sort of claim that black has created these unnecessarily weaknesses on this side of the board, and my bishop on d3 looks pretty good defending this pawn and also eyeing this queenside weaknesses. So this might have been the best way. But I decided to be more ambitious, going with b takes. Usually you take towards the center too. And the idea is just to go for d4, and I thought this was significantly more ambitious than the move that d takes. But yeah, so I think b takes is a fine option as well, but slightly worse than d takes. Here my opponent goes bishop e7. Here I go bishop c2. I want to play d4. Knight f6 developing, and I play d4. And yeah, here I thought they were going to go for bishop b6, so that if I ever go f3, they can go e5. But apparently this is just bad because of king h1. Instead, my opponent goes bishop e7, which is the other move I expected. And here already, I think the GM sort of shows his class. So he spent no time here. And I'm at 1 minute. I'm at 1 hour and 20 minutes. So I've already spent around 10 minutes here. The game was 1 hour and 30 minutes. So it's already a difficult decision. How do I defend this pawn? Obviously, I have to defend it somehow. Now, one of the moves that is fine, but I really did not want to play this move e5. I thought that after knight d5, for example, a4, targeting his weaknesses, I'm worried about a quick castles and d6 followed by something like f5 in the future, and I don't have any attack, and the position looks like his bishop is a monster. So I really wanted to blunt this bishop. So the easiest way to blunt the bishop is maybe to go for f3. And the reason why I didn't go for this is really hard to explain. I just didn't like the feel of going f3. I just didn't want to go f3. I wanted to go for knight g3. And my idea was, if he just castles, I can go for this move queen d3. I'm threatening e5, so if he plays a move like, I don't know, rook c8, he loses the game instantly to e5, attacking the knight. If it moves, there's checkmate. So he'd have to play a move like g6, and then I thought I wanted to play f4. My idea is to go here. Now in this particular position, it's not very good because of this, but Okay, these were my general ideas. Maybe bishop h6 first, and after rook e8, somehow looking for f4. But yeah, this was way too greedy because my opponent plays this move rook c8, immediately taking advantage of my last move, attacking the c-pawn. I have to play bishop d2. I don't really want to play this move. And then he strikes me with h5, which is the best move. And yeah, here I was just shaking my head. I was just like, why did I play knight g3? It was such a bad move. And yeah, clearly I should have spent more time here. And here I have to bite the bullet, play f3, because otherwise he's threatening a4, and there's no other way to defend the pawn. So I have to play f3. And here he played queen c7, again targeting this. Here I thought he was threatening b4. For example, here I wanted to go knight e2, but I thought he had b4. But here I just have a simple move, bishop f4, which I'm not really sure how I missed. I basically thought he had queen c6, but here you can go bishop a4 attacking this, and if he goes queen c6, I can go bishop e3 and then take this pawn eventually. So yeah, I was worried about b4 because if I ever take also, obviously the bishop's hanging here. So yeah, I couldn't go knight e2 because I just didn't see it. So instead I went for bishop d3, and now there's no b4 because there's no bishop hanging on c2. And yeah, I played this very quickly, so, or no, I played this in 4 minutes, so not that quickly. So here he played h4, now I have to go knight e2, and e5, striking in the center. And here the best move is very, very difficult to play, so again, I'd recommend pausing the video, and it's a very difficult position to play, I think. So here the best move is d5, but yeah, it's a very tough move to play because I have all these dark squared weaknesses here, and after bishop c5, king h1, a move like d6, let's say, the engine's favorite move here is one that I would never consider. h3, creating more dark squared holes, just putting all my pawns on dark squares around the king, and yeah, I just would not play like this. Instead of that, maybe a more human move is a4, targeting the weakness here, and after h3, g3 is already a bad move too. Apparently after this, it's about equal. So I have to play this move g4, locking the structure in. Yeah, I think this is just not human at some point. So I think this d5 idea is sort of very important because then his bishop is just terrible and he has his weaknesses that can't move. But yeah, I just didn't see it. And I played the more human move, I believe, which is a4. So yeah, here my opponent, I was expecting this move d5, and we'll see why in a sec. But my opponent started with h3. And here, apparently what I'm supposed to do is just take here, and after takes here, I was worried about e takes d4, and after bishop f4, I saw bishop d6, and I stopped calculating, because, okay, if I take here, I'm just clearly lost after I can't defend this. But here I have this move bishop g3, which I just didn't see. So probably my opponent wouldn't play e takes d4, instead maybe takes here, and then here again, d5 is good for me, because even with this exchange, somehow I'm not losing. Again, playing with your king like this is very unnatural. So instead I played g3, which I think is a more natural move, but then d5 comes with more power because he has always this threat of getting a queen here, and we'll see this be more relevant later in the game. So here maybe I should also play d takes e5, and what I miscalculated here is after d takes e4, which is the most natural move, capturing the pawn, attacking here, I take here, attacking the bishop, he takes here, attacking my knight. If I take here, takes here, and takes here, he has this move rook h5, threatening this move rook e5, and here I just thought I was losing. So instead of that, after it takes here, I can also take the pawn here, but then after here takes, well, objectively this position the engine says is equal. I evaluate it as dead loss for me. Actually, I'm afraid to say that because of the fact that I just thought he had so much activity here, and he has this nasty pawn here. I just really, really dislike this position. For example, if I take here immediately, I lose the game. So I just thought this pawn was a thorn, and my pieces are really badly placed. I'm not even up any material. And yeah, I just hated this position, but apparently it's equal. So I think that's very unlikely I was going to play that. So instead I take here. And yeah, here I was expecting e takes here, and then I thought that I have takes here. For example, if he takes here, I can take with the knight. And this didn't look that bad to me after king f8. This looked sort of tenable. Even better here, maybe I can take with the bishop. I didn't see this in the game at all, but yeah, this kind of just hangs this as well. I don't really understand the idea. Oh, bishop takes g7. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that at all. But yeah, here he castled, which is like a very nice move, defending this g7, defending against this bishop c3 move. And yeah, this is very bad for me. So here I took here, and yeah, here I was already very sort of annoyed at my position. If I take here, I thought for sure he's going to take with the bishop. And I just have so many weaknesses in my position. This f3 pawn is going to be targeted. And yeah, here I was really, really, really not feeling comfortable. So I play this move rook b1, and the idea is that in various positions, this d pawn wants to take here. But I can't because there's this queen c5 fork. But now I can because of the fact that it would be defended when I take here. And here I really expected either knight takes here immediately, or after e takes, c takes, now knight takes here. But my opponent instantly plays this move b4. So already here I'm down like 30 minutes or something. And my opponent played a move that I just thought was bad. I didn't actually see b4, but it just logically just didn't make sense to me. I think what my opponent thought, because they spent like 20 seconds on this move, they didn't really spend much time, is that after takes, rook takes, I think they might have immediately thought they had knight takes here, threatening this fork and also threatening this rook. Now, here I have this nice move, rook b5, and if knight e3, I have queen b1 attacking here. So they don't actually win. I didn't see that. I was planning to go rook b3, and after knight e3, again, I have queen b1 winning, but here I was planning to go bishop h7, and after king takes, I was planning to take here. So that's what I saw, which is why I thought this was fine for me. And I spent 10 minutes on this because, yeah, if I don't go bishop b4, it's extremely unpleasant. So after takes, he went for queen e7, and here I went for queen d2, and already I feel like a lot of stuff has cleared up. I feel like I've traded off this bishop, which is kind of bad for this bishop, which could have caused me a lot of problems. So, yeah, he also no longer has his passed pawn on the queen side, so you can never use that. So here I was happy after queen d2, I played this move rook b3. There's no knight e3 again because of bishop h7, so he plays rook e8. And here I played a move sort of quickly in like 1 minute, knight f4, which is kind of bad. But after rook b1, which is the other move I was considering, let's say he goes bishop a8, or here I didn't really see too big of a difference. I just thought my f3 pawn would be weak in many positions. Yeah, you shouldn't really play chess like this with irrational fears. If you don't see a concrete way I'm losing my f3 pawn, why would I be afraid of that? But instead I go knight f4, and it's for the reason that I saw that if he goes knight f6, which I thought he might do, then I have knight takes h3, and I don't see full compensation for him anymore. I don't really see where his compensation is. And apparently here he does have this sort of blockade of this d5 square, and my pawns are kind of difficult to use, but without any weaknesses on the second rank anymore. Now, look, there's no threat of queen g2 mate ever. I like my position. Another move he could have played, which, okay, admittedly I didn't see, I was only considering knight f6 and knight f4, he could also go bishop a8. And for example, if I take here now, he has this knight e3 move. Now, originally I thought that, okay, if he doesn't go for, I didn't really see bishop a8, but I basically saw that if he does this, then I can always go for rook a1 if he played some other move like bishop c6 maybe. But here I missed this nice move, knight c4. And after it takes, he can go knight d2, takes, he's attacking my rook, I have to go rook a3, and then he takes, go king f2, and takes here, and it's completely equal. So yeah, this is another way the game could have gone. But instead he plays knight takes f4, which is the best move, and also keeps the most amount of material on the board, and after takes here, he again plays the best move. Clearly these GMs are very amazing. He plays g6, and here I was very proud of myself. I found this move, rook b6, which is a very nice move. The idea is I want to take here. For example, if here, I can go takes, and after takes here, king h8. My idea was to go rook h6, and for example, if he plays a move like here, I can go check, and if he blocks ever, I go rook g6. And if he plays a move like king g7, I go rook here. And the idea is queen h6, how do you stop that? There's no way. He can go queen e3, and then here I'm just up 2 pawns. I'm up 3 pawns, actually. But still, I think he might be drawing with my weaknesses here, but okay, that remains to be seen. But that was my idea, and okay, he's not going to go there, obviously. I expected rook c6, and after takes, I thought that I could go for this move, bishop b4 anyways. Now we'll see what happened in the game. Something similar happened, but okay, he went bishop c6, and yeah, here I was just too dead set on playing bishop e4. Here I should really reconsider, and yeah, maybe bishop c4, as you saw by the arrow pointed out by the engine. I haven't really looked at this, but after king g7, okay, rook f2 doesn't really make any sense. So yeah, I guess maybe simplest enough is rook b1 just defending this. And how does he make progress? What does he do? All of these squares are kind of covered, and yeah, okay, g5 is not a move a human's gonna play. Something like this just doesn't really look to make much sense. But okay, bishop c6, I play bishop e4, and here my opponent, after thinking for like 20 minutes, plays this move, queen a7, which is just absolutely brilliant, and you'll see why in a second. Here I only expected takes, and here queen a7, in which case I thought that I have this move, rook b2, which would be nice, and after takes here, rook f2, and there's pretty much no way to defend this other than allowing me to take this h3 pawn, and once I took this h3 pawn, I was confident I could draw this position. So then he played queen a7, and I realized what I wanted to do no longer works. Now here I'll show you guys the dirty engine line, which apparently works. So here I have bishop takes g6. It's a stupid move, and after takes here, I have queen d6, and if takes here, I have this perpetual. And if he goes like, you know, saves his bishop. I have takes here, and after queen here, I have here, threatening rook g6. Like, I have 3 pawns for the piece, but he has a piece, and his h3 pawn is annoying. Yeah, this is just a dirty engine line, but I thought it might be worth showing as the best line after queen a7. And if you're wondering why I can't take here, it's because after queen d4, here, he has this move rook c6. And if I take this queen a2 threatening mate, the only way to stop it is rook g1, and after rook e1, here's where my calculation ended. Here, apparently, I have this move queen b8, which, okay, I didn't see whatsoever. After takes here, I might be having a fortress, but he has f5 always to kick my bishop away from e4. So I'm still losing this, but okay, might be closer to a draw than I thought. But yeah, this is what I saw, all these moves. And then if you're wondering why he can't take, it's because of queen d2. So yeah, that's what I saw. And then I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed this. So I have to go for this move rook b4 if I didn't see bishop g6. And here he goes bishop b4. I take here, and yeah, he spent a lot of time on bishop b4. He spent like 20 minutes here, and it was pretty much the only move I was expecting. I don't really see what else he can do that's useful. Maybe queen here can always be met by rook f2 and rook f1. So bishop takes e4 makes sense, and now after rook c2, I can't go rook f2 because he has queen a1. And if I go rook here now, he goes here. And if I go rook here now, then he can, at worst, like go here, but maybe he has even better. Okay, so here I played a very nice move. So yeah, here is, you're in a pretty much a gargantuan defensive task. You're down like 5 minutes versus a GM. You have like 9 minutes, they have like 14. And you have to figure out how to defend this position where your second rank is so weak. So yeah, figure out the move that can sort of defend white, and what is the defensive plan here? Because we not only have to be defensive, but we also have to be aggressive, threaten some things to try and get this defense to work. So the best move here is probably difficult to find, but it is rook a4. And the idea is we're not allowing the queen to come onto the second rank. And for example, if I move like queen b7, we can just continue to chase this guy here. Okay, actually no, we can't. It's because he has queen takes e4, so we have to go d5 and then we can continue. And there's no longer any threats on this diagonal, but okay. Rook a4 is a difficult move to see. Instead, I think a more human move to play is g4. And you might say, why are you pushing pawns in front of your king? How do I defend this h2 pawn? The only way is with the queen, and now the queen is connected here. Not only that, but I've also cleared the king an escape route here, which may not seem relevant, but we're going to see what happens in the game. So here, rook ac8. Yeah, here the best move is rook e2, and after e5, he can just take it because it's pinned. Yeah, neither of us saw this. There's a reason that we couldn't allow the queen on this diagonal. Or maybe my opponent saw it and somehow saw I have some defense, like maybe I have this move rook b8, and if I take here, yeah, he can take here, or even, sorry, a perpetual, like this. So maybe my opponent saw this, I have no idea, but I just definitely did not really consider rook e2. Rook c8 was my main line, and here my plan was to go for this move g5, exclam. Yeah, here I had a much simpler draw with king h1, not allowing any checks here. And for example, if queen a2, here I thought the game was over. I thought I was dead lost. My plan was to go for d5, but after here, I just kind of thought that I was getting mated somehow. For example, if I go for a move like here, rook c1 immediately wins, threatening here, and also pinning the rook, so there's no way to defend. And let's say I do nothing here, then he has queen g2 mate, and let's say I cover queen g2 mate with here, then he has rook c3 attacking the queen, and there's no way to cover g2 mate. If I go here, takes, and rook c1. So this is what I saw, and I stopped calculating, but here apparently rook a4, very nice move, is defending, and if he takes, I again always have this perpetual. So yeah, instead of that, I went for g5, such that if he ever goes here, rook bb1 is playable. And the idea is that if he ever does this, I can go for d5. Also, I think d5 actually was my idea. And the idea is if he goes rook f8, the idea of d5 is he's no longer defending f7, so he has to go rook f8. And then rook d4. And here I thought I was actually winning or better, but apparently this is slightly worse for me. Okay, but rook c4 instead. And here I was thinking that I was out of the woods after takes. And this move, queen e5. And here I play this almost instantly because I'd seen rook c4 before and I thought it was pretty bad. And the idea of queen e5 is I'm sort of threatening to give a perpetual. If he plays a nothing move, he loses the game immediately. Or gives a perpetual. If he goes like king h7, I don't know, queen f6 should be enough to draw. So instead he went queen d7, threatening queen g4. I go rook f4, and yeah, here there's 10,000 ways to make a draw here. Like this is one of them. there's like, you can go rook takes d4, give this perpetual. He can allow me to go like queen b8 here. There's a million things he can do that will probably all be a draw. I'm actually curious about this line. What if he goes king h7? Oh, he's even getting mated. So yeah, there's a million ways to make a draw here. But he goes rook c1. And okay, I have to go king f2. And he goes queen c8. And here he has a minute and I have 9 minutes. And here I make the fatal mistake that actually loses me the game. Now, not to spoil the result, but I was not punished. He has a minute here, so it's not ridiculous to believe that he wasn't able to punish me. But okay, take your time here, see if you can find the move here. And okay, I just realized actually that maybe this was kind of cut off a little bit. So sorry to those people who noticed that. But here, kind of, the move I played is very bad. Here, a simple move to win is to go queen f6, threatening here, and there's no mates here because I have this move rook f3, and it's defended by the queen. And we're going to see why that's so important after I play my move king g3, which loses the game on the spot. Now the position is mate in some amount of moves. I can't remember what my engine said. The browser doesn't find it. But after king g3, I'm completely losing, and we'll see why in a second. My opponent plays the correct first move, queen c3, king h4. The king has this nice haven here, if queen e1. If I ever take here, you can go rook c3 and I lose the game. After here, I assume there's just some sort of mate. Here, check, and okay, this is, I think, a pretty simple mate to see. So yeah, I can't take the pawn, so I have to go king g4. And here, what I think both me and my opponent missed is after queen f2, king h4. Here, I think both of us maybe thought queen e1. We don't see any other check. Queen h5. The pawn on g6, all those moves ago, comes in and defends the queen, and I lose the game. And I think this is what my opponent missed. I think this is what I also missed. But instead, my opponent went queen, sorry, not there. Went queen g1, I go king h4, and notice if they play a nonchalant move, they immediately just get checkmated. So they have to be careful here too. After queen g1, king g4, I play this move instantly. My opponent has 20 seconds here, and in 20 seconds, he plays rook c8, which now I actually have chances to win. After rook f3, queen e2, I play queen f4, threatening here. He plays queen g2, king h4, rook c7. Now if I take, he can take here. So this, I think, would, maybe I can draw this, but yeah, it's very difficult now. Instead of that, I play rook f2, and after queen g1, I immediately force a draw. So I did do it without thinking, but here I have a very nice way to actually push for advantage, which is this move, rook b3. And at first it might not seem obvious, but okay, I'm threatening his rook, and I'm also threatening this move, rook b8. So how do you stop both threats? There's no extremely easy way to do it. Maybe the easiest way to do it is to play this move, rook c8, which is the best move. And here I can go for this move, rook b8. And if I saw rook b8, I might have gone for this. It's hard to say, but I didn't see rook b8. I stopped calculating after rook c8. And yeah, this is the end of my line. I just thought, okay, I go rook f3, and then he goes rook c7. Again, I force a draw this way. What about a cleaner way to force the draw like this? So yeah, I didn't see rook b8 at all. And the idea is after takes, let's say king g7, I can go for this move, queen e5. And after king h7, queen f4. Both of these lines would transpose if king h7, then queen f4. Here I'm actually just up a pawn, and I'm going to win the second pawn. For example, if he continues to do nothing, I can go for this move d5, threaten to push the pawn. If he continues to do nothing, I can just, okay, he can't do that. Maybe king g8, then I can go d6, just continue to threaten to push the pawn. So at some point after d5, he has to go for a move like queen e2, and then after king takes h3, I'm up 2 pawns. And I could have pushed this endgame against a GM. Now, would I have won this? Almost certainly not, because, okay, this guy's over, like, what? Over 700 points higher than me, and, you know, one of the best players in the world, and obviously I was ecstatic to get a draw against him. But, yeah, I definitely probably would not have pushed this, but, yeah, there's winning chances, and maybe it's important to look at endgames like these, because you might find yourself in them in practical games, where my opponent clearly wasn't able to find the mate, and then clearly over-pushed a little bit, but again, he was rewarded because I'm low rated and I went for the draw. So yeah, this was my game against Abhijeet Gupta. I was extremely happy with this game after. I didn't realize I had blundered queen h5. I didn't even see that until right after the game. A GM, I think, came up to our board and was like, yeah, there's queen h5. He said to Abhijeet, and I was like, oh my god. I did not even see that, and I was like, I was shaking because I was like, oh my god, can't believe I was completely lost. So yeah, that's the end of today's video, guys. If you like the video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. This is clearly a very nice result. I have another tournament coming up next week, so we'll see if I do well there. Maybe I can get the NM title, and then we can change the name of this channel to NM Georges Capra. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one, and hopefully I gain some rating points there. See ya.